Hey guys, this is Bruce.
And this is me, Yuri.
And today's topic is going to be about domestic violence, specifically pertaining to the U.S. petitioner and the foreign fiancé or foreign spouse. This is a topic that comes up quite often, unfortunately, so we're going to take this time to talk about it. Now, after we talk about this whole topic, we're going to go ahead and open it up to any kind of questions that you have. And once again, this is the perfect time and opportunity to actually ask your questions, because we're here facilitating these questions. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so every Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we do these lives where we answer K-1, green card, and adjustment of status questions. So I want to just take this opportunity to thank all of our community of sponsors. We've been really fortunate enough to have a very supportive team of sponsors the reason why we're doing this is because of them. And if you want to actually become part of this team, this Yuri Bruce team, then here's how you can do it. To support our channel, you can go to patreon.com/Yuri Bruce and donate as little as $1 per month. Or you can also just go to paypal.me/Yuri Bruce and donate a little bit of money from PayPal. You can also do super chats. Here's how you do that during this live. All right. So let me see. All right, so unfortunately, this is something that comes up a lot. More than, I wouldn't say a lot, but more than you might think, more than I thought it would happen, especially with two people who love each other and going through this whole process together. You would think that they would have their stuff together, but a lot of times it's just it doesn't work out. Not only does it not work out, but it goes really bad. So that's why we decided to talk about this subject. First and foremost, I want you guys to know that there are a few things we're not talking about today. That's not related to this topic. We're not talking about petty arguments. Like if you're just having small arguments and stuff, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about actual domestic violence. Also, we're not taking sides. The way we're going to do this is kind of unconventional. And thanks for that donation.
Thank you, Mike T-Man.
The way we're doing this is very unconventional. Where we're going to take both sides. We're going to see it from how can we help the victim and the victimizer. Because, and you'll see that as we approach it like that way, that it's better because it actually allows for a possible solution, where before there might not have been one. So we're also not talking about your situation. Remember, this is not just happening to just you and your situation. This happens a lot more than you might think, unfortunately. So you're not alone in this. We're not going to be mentioning any names or any specific situations, because a lot of situations are happening, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So let's keep going here. So what is domestic violence? Actually, Yuri, what do you think? What would you say it is?
Domestic violence is when your partner, spouse, it's like, this is just for they give us this pamphlet from the US Embassy, and it explains there that domestic violence is when your partner is experiencing abuse from your not just physical abuse, but verbal and mental abuse. Like if you are saying words that is hurting your partner.
Right. So we got the actual description of what domestic violence is right there. But like Yuri said, it's not just physical abuse, but it's forced sexual relations, emotional manipulation, isolation, or intimidation using economic or immigration related threats, like, oh, I'm going to send you back to your country if you don't do X, Y, and Z. It also includes sexual assault and child abuse. That's domestic violence. So just keep that in mind as we go through this.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that you should know about domestic violence as the victim and as the victimizer. Like, if you're in this situation, you should know that this hurts the kids the most. They're the real victims in this, not you. You're going to go through your life. You're going to get over it. You guys break up. You're going to go find someone else. The foreign fiance, the spouse, is going to go about her own life. The kids, it stays with them. You know how I know? Because I'm one of those kids. I'm one of those kids who saw my mom beaten badly, like she was almost killed. And I saw it. And that stuck with me my whole life. I'm 40 plus years old, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. It affected me in a very negative way. How about you? Yuri's also been through it.
Yeah. It takes a while to get over it when your parents has harmed you, like when you see violence in your home. Right.
And so that's why I put this picture here, is because at the forefront of this picture you see that child holding his hand, holding his ears. He doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to see it, because his parents are hurting one another, and it hurts him or her to see that their parents tearing each other apart. Two people that he or she loves tearing each other apart. And so the main victim in domestic violence is the kids. You should know that as the petitioner, as the spouse, as the husband, as the wife. You should know that it hurts the kids the most. So for the love of God, like, if there's a way to fix it, if there's a way for you to get through this, as the victim, as the victimizer, please, for the sake of the kids, get through it. For the sake of the kids. If you don't think of nothing else, think of them. You're not alone. You should know that this happens often enough to have a support system for you. If you're the victim, if you're the victimizer, there's a support system for both of you. And we're going to talk about that going forward. You should also know that you should not put your own personal situation, especially when it's extremely dramatic, on social media, because it makes it 10 times worse. I'm not saying you shouldn't talk to anyone. You should definitely talk to people you love. You should talk to your friends, your family. If nothing else, like, if there's somebody online who you trust, you should DM them directly. You should keep it private, because it just makes it worse when you put it on social media.
Yeah. Especially if it's not final yet, or if you're not planning to leave your partner and
right,
you want to resolve it, you should not be posting it in social media.
You should not do that. It's not worth your family. Another thing is that, once again, we're not immigration lawyers. We're not psychologists. We're not psychiatrists. We're not authorized consultants. So when we put this stuff up, when we put the facts up, when you see those links below, these are just resources we got from online, okay? And everything that we're saying here is our opinion based on our experience, and everything that you see from the people in our troll box there, all the people in our community, same thing. They're not lawyers, they're not approved, authorized consultants, so just take everything you hear here with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. All right, so before you are in a relationship, before you go further, before you become husband and wife, hell, before you even become boyfriend and girlfriends on a serious level, there's some things you should know about domestic violence. There's signs. That's the first thing I would say. What would you say were some signs of that this person may be abusive, from the female side and from the male side?
I would say from a previous partner, like, as for a female having a relationship with a man, like, if your partner grabs you in a normal argument when I tried to leave, like, that's a sign that the person will hit me if
it escalates again. Right.
Yeah.
And what we've seen is, like, when you allow that first grab to happen, mm-hmm, and you just continue with the relationship, then they're like, okay, well, not only can I grab, maybe I can smack too. It kind of escalates. So those are some signs that you should probably pay attention to. Another one is, like, you should really avoid people who are emotionally and physically abusive to you. Like, we're talking before you're married, before you're in a serious boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. If they're insulting you and demeaning you and
hurting you verbally,
right, and treating you like a child, like
mm-hmm.
talking down to you. I'm not saying like everybody has moments where there is banter, they're talking to each other and they're laughing and stuff, and maybe they go too far or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on a continuous basis, they're trying to control you, keep you in your place, so to speak, and put you in a box and manipulate you. And you can see that they're doing it, but you love them, or for some reason you're staying with them because you think that this is going to get better. And that's another thing, is like, you can't change this person. A lot of people think that I can change him, I can change her, she's going to change once we get together, you know. But the thing is, having a child is not going to fix it. It's going to make it worse. It's like throwing gasoline on it. Sometimes they think, oh, well, we're in a long distance relationship now, so once we get together, that'll make everything better. No, it won't. It'll make it worse, because that person's there, and the control is times 10 when you're together. So I'm just telling you, you can't change them. If they're already insulting you and hurting your feelings, hurting you emotionally, physically, sexually, whatever, you should probably go the other direction and avoid them like the plague. Okay.
Yeah, domestic violence is not just, happening to women. There's also males and male spouses that are experiencing it.
Right.
And, like, for example,
Derek, thanks for that.
Thank you, Derek. For example, if your partner is mentioned there, is insulting you, making you feel like, you're not important in the relationship, and saying things that would remain as a scar in your relationship, like, that's not good, because that will escalate when you have more arguments in the future.
Right. And from the guy's perspective, some of the kind of abusive things that are kind of just ignored because it's a man, is where the woman is demeaning the guy, emasculating the guy, like basically disrespecting him in front of their friends and all that kind of stuff. That can be escalated. You don't want to be with a person like that. It's going to try to shame you in front of company, in front of other people. Like, that's not something you should condone or be with, So before you even have a relationship, those are signs that you should get the heck out of that relationship. All right. So another thing to keep in mind before you get serious, before the domestic violence actually happens, is from the petitioner's perspective. If you're petitioning a foreign national to come to the United States, you should know that the affidavit of support documents state that you have to take care of that person. That means even if it doesn't work out, even if you think this person is not good and you are an abuser, or they're the abuser, right? And they're running around on you, so you guys get a divorce. Divorce doesn't take away your obligation to take care of that person. So in some cases, there are some cases where you can get it lifted, but if you read the affidavit of support. Again, I'm not a lawyer. You should just really read that document to see what it says there. Before domestic violence happens, before you go that route, before you're with an abusive person, you should know that you are obligated to take care of that person when you sign those affidavits. There's 2 affidavits of support. You should read both of them.
Yes.
Foreign fiance, what they should know is...
Foreign spouse.
Foreign spouse should know that if they're the person who's the abuser, if they're the person who's the aggressor, they should know that domestic violence can get you deported. So that's definitely a deportable offense. So you should definitely know that.
Also, with the affidavit of support, once you get married and you push your foreign spouse to get food stamps, any kind of government assistance, then you can
be obligated to take care of anything that they took from the state, as far as financially. You could be obligated to pay that back.
Yes.
So yeah, you definitely want to read that. You definitely want to know that before it's serious, before the domestic violence, because that's the kind of stuff that you're dealing with here. So another thing you should know before domestic violence, before you get serious with your relationship, your marriage, all that kind of stuff, is that the USCIS and the embassy actually do background checks on the petitioner and the foreign fiance. So they try to weed out patterns. They're looking for those patterns. So the USCIS actually specifically is looking. If you look at the I-129F, it's looking for specific crimes. Right? It's not like looking at. They're not necessarily looking for like if you have parking tickets. They're not looking for like you got into a minor altercation and was detained by the cops or something. They're looking for like domestic violence. They're looking for a history of restraining orders against your partner. They're looking for child abuse. They're looking for domestic trafficking, human trafficking. What is it called? If you've ever entrapment, if not entrapment, it's called false. It's where you detain somebody against their will, and like you put them in the basement and you say you can't leave here. False imprisonment, that's what it's called. They're looking for false imprisonment, stuff like that indicates that you have a pattern of abuse, and because they want to avoid it, because the person has rights when they come to this country, whether you know it or not, does not take away the strength of the law. So if you we'll put the links in the description below on this video, but you can read your rights as an immigrant, and they're going to be down there in the below, but I kind of put it here. And in this document that they have, that the Department of Homeland Security has and the USCIS has, they kind of tell you, okay, they tell you, okay, here's what the K-1 is, here's how it works, here's how spousal visas work, things like that. But then they really focus on you determine how safe you are with that person, and that determines part of the domestic violence. Because if they're threatening and you don't feel safe around them, that's a big deal, and you should really think about that. So moving on here. During domestic violence, we're talking about it's happening right now. First of all, call the cops. Like if it's happening right now and you're abused, you feel threatened for your life, you feel threatened for your kids, like you should call the cops. Now, you should realize that there's a point of no return with calling the cops because you're going to have to fill out a police report. But you, as the victim, you have to. If you feel threatened for your life, you have to do it, because otherwise there's no evidence that it ever happened.
Yeah.
So you have to have evidence that it happened. So definitely do that.
Also, you can use that if you have already been in the United States and you already had your green card and you're applying for your 10 years green card. If your marriage failed and you've been abused by your spouse, then you can use that as an evidence that your marriage failed because of abuse.
Yeah, you can say I had a legitimate relationship. Here's proof that it was a legitimate relationship, but also we had an altercation, and here's the evidence of that, the police report. Basically, you're telling them a story of what happened so that you can continue to get with your green card. And we're going to discuss that a little bit further. But as the abuser, you should think to yourself, think about this situation before you get super mad, before you want to hit somebody or throw things. Think about this. Do you want to go to jail? Look at the big picture of your life. Do you want to have a record on you? Do you want to add to your record? Think about your kids. Put your kids first. Think about what your actions are going to be before you do it. It's better to just walk away. Leave the house, right? They're saying things. They know how to push your buttons. They know how to make you mad. They want to antagonize you. You should just leave. You should just walk out the house, go take a walk, go live with your parents for a while, your buddy, whatever. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's better to just divorce and walk away than to go down this path.
Yeah, and also if you happen to petition another fiancé from another country to bring to the United States.
All of that's a factor. The police record, all that stuff is a factor. Yeah.
It's gonna happen to you.
It will, and if it's bad enough, it can even affect you going to other countries. So
True.
You should know that. So another thing is, if you guys are both willing to fix it, if you guys are both the victim and the victimizer, the spouse and the wife, the petitioner and the foreign fiance, if you guys are trying to fix it, if you guys both want to fix it, then you should really try. Now if you as the victim feel too threatened, don't try. Go leave. Don't go back in that situation. All right, so we already discussed, do not post this stuff on social media during the domestic violence. It's a bad idea. It just makes everything 10 times worse. That being said, you should contact someone, friends, family. You can DM people. That's what social media is good for, is you can DM people personally.
You should consult people that you're close to.
Absolutely.
But don't, but especially like in our group, Visa Approved, you shouldn't post it there if it's not related to the visa, because it's like, it's not the place for that.
And it's happened before many times on there. Don't post that stuff there. Don't post it anywhere. I'm not even talking about Visa Approved. I'm talking about don't post it anywhere. Don't try to win over public opinion about the situation, because you're gonna lose. Everybody's gonna choose sides, and basically the person who loses is your kids. The kids lose. So
unless your relationship's already final,
yeah, if it's done your partner, and that's it, then okay.
That was it. Then yeah, you can announce it for your friends and family.
But if there's a chance, for the sake of the kids, like, you shouldn't be posting that stuff. Now I'm gonna give you guys a list of. I'm just kind of scroll through a list of contact information if you're going through this right now. People that you can contact, sites that you can go to, numbers that you can call, pamphlets that you can read. Now all of these will be linked in the description below, so you don't have to be scrambling to take notes or anything. It's all there in the description below. And there's also some additional stuff that I didn't actually put in the slides, but they're all there. Real quickly, we're going to talk about after domestic violence. Let's say this means it's already happened. You're living apart. Everything's messed up. What do you do? Like, what direction can you take? We're going to take the perspective of the victim and the abuser. Victim should get a police report. Let's say it already happened. They didn't call the cops. It was a week ago. You should call the cops and get a police report. Right? Because the reason why is because that's evidence. That's evidence that something happened. Especially if you're the foreign fiance, foreign white spouse, you should get a police report to just have an evidence that it happened. All right? Now, if you're the victim and you're the U.S. petitioner, you should still get a police report, and here's why. Because if you have to get the marriage annulled and you have to prove that the person abused you, and here's why the relationship ended, the annulment could invalidate the marriage, which, if it's a K-1, could send the person back to their home country. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're this is a touchy subject, but essentially the police report provides evidence of what occurred, right? And you may have to lawyer up at some point. And that's how ugly this is getting. And who is this hurting? The kids. So that's why you should try to work it out for the sake of the kids. But I mean, if you're going to take it there, this is what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get a police report. That person has evidence of everything that occurred, time, date, what happened, maybe some pictures of scars on the face and stuff like that. And it's just going to end ugly for the kids. Abuser. So for the abuser, it's already happened. The abuse has happened. Maybe there's a reason why the abuse happened or whatever. It was self-defense, whatever, right? If it was self-defense, you should probably call the cops for yourself. Call the cops, get a police report, say it was self-defense, and then basically in a court of law, a judge, another person, another human being is going to determine the fate of your life and your kids. Mm-hmm. And that's why you should really fix it by yourselves. As the abuser, you should get some professional help. If you find yourself abusing another person, if you find yourself saying, I'm wrong, I messed up, that's actually a great step in the right direction. You should go get some professional help for your anger, for your problems, and that is actually going to help you if you do go to a judge, because they'll be able to say, hey, this person's trying to get better. This person's trying to do right by his or her kids. So yeah, you should get some professional help. Again, do not post it on social media. Do not try to win the appeal of the people on your side. The people who lose are going to be the kids. There's not going to be any winners by posting that stuff on freaking Facebook. Another thing is, that you should know is immigrant spouses who came on a K-1 can still get a green card if the relationship was real. Meaning, if you guys had got a divorce, you had domestic violence, you had a divorce, you had a legit relationship, you can still get a green card. A lot of times the U.S. spouse will be like, oh, I'm going to deport you back to your country. That they use that a lot. Yeah, they say that a lot. All right, but that's not the case. It's not how it works. All right, unless they can prove that you really didn't have a relationship and it was a fraud. Right, but if you already have kids and everything like that, then no, you can't. There's nothing. They're going to be able to prove that you had a legit relationship. You cohabitated in the same spot. So no, they can't send you back to your home country. And if you're the U.S. petitioner saying stuff like that, man, you should know better. If you went through this whole process, you should have read some of that stuff. You should really consider reading up on the affidavit of support, and that'll give you a general idea of what you just signed up for.
Yeah.
Green card after domestic violence. So I copy and pasted this directly out of the regulations. So, and I see you guys giving super chats and stuff. I really appreciate that. We're going to get to you guys in a second after this. We only have a few slides left. Let's see. Now, it said green card after domestic violence. Okay, so can you get a green card after domestic violence? The answer is yes. And here it is from the regs. It says if you have been married for 2 years, and you filed a I-485, which is an adjustment, 2-year green card adjustment of status, and it's approved, you will receive a permanent resident status from the USCIS. On that date, you are no longer dependent on the U.S. citizen. And there's 3 exceptions to this, right? So it's basically saying you have to fill out the I-129F. You have to have 2-year green card, but there's 3 exceptions to where you don't need any of that stuff, and I'm going to show you those in a second. Here are the 3 exceptions. One is you had a removal of conditional resident from the U.S. Would result in extreme hardship, meaning if you actually were kicked out of the country, you go back to your home country and you're going to be killed in your home country. Something like that. In that situation, you might be able to not have any of the the I-485 filled out. If the marriage was legally terminated, other than death by death, so there was a divorce and the applicant was not at fault for failing to file in a timely manner, meaning they filed on time and removed conditions. So that's another condition.
And the marriage was legally terminated.
And divorce. And you can prove that you had a legit relationship. And the third exception is during the marriage, the U.S. citizen was the U.S. citizen or the permanent resident spouse was subjected to the conditional resident battery extreme cruelty, meaning there was abuse, and that's why you need to get the police report.
Yeah, that's your evidence.
So when you fill out the form I-751, it actually asks about that stuff. It asks about, did you have a real relationship? And then you have to prove that you had a real relationship. So that's it, guys. I really hate talking about this topic. It's very controversial. It affects the kids. And as a child who grew up through that, I really side with the kids. The adults act like children. They should know better. They should work things out amongst each other for the sake of the kids. It's just sad how things work out. And I know that I don't want to be one-sided because I know how things play out. I know how it plays out. One person always looks like the bad guy, and I'm on the side of the kids is what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't matter to me who started it. It matters how it ends. And that's something that you should think about as the petitioner, as the abuser, okay? As the victim, as the spouse, as the foreigner, as the petitioner. You should really think about your kids first. And that's all I got. You got anything?
I would say you only become a victim if you don't act. If you cannot solve it anymore, then you have to leave.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then let's read the comments.
Okay, now let's get into comments. We're going to open it up for questions. If you guys have anything. We've got some folks on Facebook too, I think. Let's see. Do we? Yeah, not that many on Facebook, but about 6 people watching on Facebook.
Ika, hi Ika, and Trina, David.
So yeah, if there are any
Editha,
questions at
and
all
Dev.
about K1 visa, green card, this is your opportunity to ask everybody, not just Yuri and I, but all of us, the whole community, about your situation. But let's see. We got some questions here. We got.
Thank you, Michael Firestone, for the donation.
Thanks,
we
Mike.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Derek Floyd. Really appreciate you. And Derek Floyd, for you guys that don't know, Derek Floyd is a YouTuber. He's got a channel. Check him out, please. Let's see. What questions do we have? I'm just kind of scrolling through to see if I can see any questions here. I'm going to scroll.
How come it's 0 watching?
It's just not connected to this. Because
Okay.
I have it on a there's some people on here. Let me see.
Again, disclaimer, guys, we're not lawyers. We're just a couple that has been through the process of the K1 visa, and we're sharing this specifically because from time to time it happens in the spouse, the foreign spouse, or the petitioner, U.S. citizen, doesn't know what to do when they experience the marriage fraud or when the foreign spouse experience the domestic violence.
Right. Okay, we got some people here. We got Instigator. Hey, Instigator, how you doing? Thank you for sponsoring almost every single video we do. We really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Instigator.
Please don't take that as a as a implication that you should do it now. Please don't. I really appreciate everything you've done, man.
Thank you.
If you're still there. Linda's got Linda's World in the house.
Hi,
Thanks.
Linus World.
Thank you, Linus
to
World.
our moderator, Linus World, and HT Logistics.
Yep, there he is, Lena and his beautiful wife. It's like covered by my logo. I need to remove that.
You have to remove that logo.
Okay.
And also, we want to thank all of our visa approved admins.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
That has continuously helped people, and thank you to all the members in Visa Approved Group who has helped the rest of the members.
There's Lena's World. Thank you so much for all your support. Lena's World is another YouTuber. They talk about relationship between an American and a beautiful woman from the Dominican Republic. They talk about their K1 visa process and everything. So check them out. Who else do we have here? We got Arthur
Travel
Carlson.
in Belgium and Arthur Carlson.
Arthur Carlson is a conservative talk show YouTuber. Check him out. We've got
Max Deb.
16th person here. Yuri and others.
Jay Barnes. Hi, Jay Barnes.
Jay Barnes,
and
how you
thank
doing?
you for your donation the other day. We appreciate it.
Really appreciate you, man. Josh Moore says, "What's up, everybody?" Mike T. Man, thank you for your donation.
Yeah, thank you, Mike T. Man.
He says, "Remember back in the day when we will come into a place and we will say hi in a room." Yeah, absolutely. Travel in Belgium. How you doing? How you doing, sir? Travel in Belgium is a travel vlogger. Actually, he's currently in Belgium, so you can check him out on his channel. Great content, beautiful sights of Belgium. Ida and Pano are also YouTubers talking about an international relationship. Check them out. Very beautiful couple. Harvey says, "Hello, Yuri and Bruce. How are you guys? It's my flight on June 6th. Awesome.
Congrats. Welcome to America, sis.
Welcome to America." Let's see. We've got Scotian Washington says, "My favorite 2 couple on YouTube." Thank you.
Thank you.
The Wallace Life, who's also a YouTuber.
Check him out.
Check him out. Wallace Life. Slice of
Wallace
Life.
Life.
Let me see. Max Dev Mez says, "American men are being taken advantage of, and we are not used to Panay fighting back." I don't have an opinion on that one.
Well,
kind of all over the place.
Americans are also taken advantage of. That's why we made this, video. It's not just for the foreign spouse who are, they also take advantage of Americans. So that's why it goes both ways, that we have to educate each side, the U.S. citizen and the foreign spouse. That way it's fair. If you get a marriage fraud, or if you get a domestic violence, if you experience it from your partner who's not from America,
Right.
then know that you can call USCIS, and you can report them to the police, and
Right.
get your police report. That way you have the evidence to the USCIS
Exactly.
to get that person deported.
It goes both ways. We actually get contacted from a few Americans who have abuse or neglect or fraud, unless a lot of them's mostly fraud, marriage fraud. So
I have talked to a few.
Yeah.
I've talked to an American woman from the past.
they
and
bring their dream guy here, and then the guy has
The
a
guy,
relationship in
yeah.
another state or something. Stuff like that. You can get the marriage annulled. So we're not just talking one-sided here. This stuff happens
from both sides.
Yeah, the using happens both ways here. Let's see.
But it's but with it happens more to women who are the foreign spouse.
Unfortunately,
and then they get threatened to get deported, and
they need to know their rights.
Yes.
So, and that's what we're trying to do on both sides. As hard as it is for me to make sure, you got to make sure that you can trust your spouse. Yeah, absolutely. Mike T. Man says, often the kids are made
to choose
sides, which is sad.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, brutal. Max Det says, of course, it's much easier without hormones involved. Yeah. Broly Khan, how you doing, man? Long time no see.
Hi, Broly Khan.
He says you should always introduce the person you want to meet with your family and friends. There might be something that you are missing due to the attraction. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So true. Ada and Pano says, true story. My first husband was verbally abusive when we were dating, and 6 months into the marriage, things escalated to actual physical violence, and there was no coming back from yeah. That's the thing, there's no coming back from that.
Anyway, check out Ada and Pano. They also have a YouTube channel. They vlog about their life.
Yeah.
Ada.
I mean, I really hope that you can work it out. If this is your situation, if this is your reality where there's abuse that's happened, I really hope that you can, for the sake of your children, I hope it can be worked out. But there's a lot of trust that's lost with that situation. You know what I mean? There's a lot of trust that's lost because you got to feel safe with your partner. So
Ada said, for sure, take pictures and share it with your friends and or neighbors. That can serve as evidence too.
Right. Hey, Mamu, how you doing?
Hi, Mamu.
Daryl
How are
Charity
you?
says, hey, Bruce. Hey, Yuri. How are you doing? We're doing all right.
We're
doing all right.
doing
BC
good.
Real says, great segment. Don't forget to announce a disclaimer with the information that you are giving out to friends, just in case someone takes your advice and it backfires.
Yeah, we did a disclaimer.
Yeah, we did at least 3 disclaimers.
And don't be drunk when the police show up, because they will immediately focus on the drunk spouse. They will take you to jail.
Yeah, that's true. Eric
Hi,
Sadler.
Eric Sadler.
How you doing?
How are you?
And thank you for your donation. Thanks, Mr. Mike Firestone from Las Vegas. Thank you, sir, for your donation. Appreciate it. Ada and Pano says, yes, you can apply for a waiver, and if you prove that the marriage was in good faith, that's the word I was looking for, you can get a green card. Yes, that's so true.
Micah, send our love. Thank you,
Thanks,
Micah.
Mike.
Say hi
Appreciate
to
that.
Cherry.
Ada Pano says, awesome presentation, Yuri and Bruce. Thank you.
Thank you,
Trying
Ada.
something different. Trying something a little different this time. Lena's World says, thank you guys for
anything for you.
anything for you. Thanks, man. And Teresa Garcia says,
Hi, Yuri and Bruce. Nice to meet you both. Hi, sis. When you take your when are you gonna take your vacation to Cebu? Next year, not anytime soon.
Yep.
Next year, about April. How about you, sis?
And let me see. I'm looking for more questions on nothing on Facebook. Maybe it's the wrong time for them. I'm not sure, but we're not getting any questions.
Who says hello? Keep spreading the good word, comrade. What's Bruce?
Where are you reading
Did you find Moose and Square?
He's talking about
hi, Iron You News.
Hi on your news. How you doing? Hey, Bruce and Yuri from Talisai. Hey,
and
Bruce.
we check Eye on Your News. He's got a channel for food and some experience, sharing his experiences in life.
Yep. Yes, sir. I think that's about it.
I think we're done.
We don't have any questions for K1 today.
Hey guys, Bruce from Talisay. Bruce Bugan.
How you doing, Bruce?
Bruce from Talisay City. Oh, nice. Yeah.
We gotta have something a lighter topic next week, like something a little less intense.
Poverty guidelines.
Poverty guidelines.
Yeah, why don't we talk about poverty guidelines? Because that's the thing that is one of the most important things in the K1 or CR1 and in the green card.
Okay, that's definitely something we can entertain. If you guys didn't know, also Yuri and I are writing a book. It's going to be released really soon. Stay tuned for how you can get it for free.
Ooh, we are done with the book.
We spent a lot of time on it, but here's a little ad over there in the corner over there. It's going to start off with a book, but it's going to evolve into an audio, a video, a complete course on this. Disclaimer, we are not lawyers. Thank God we're not lawyers or approved consultants. That's not what we're here for. We're here to help our community. We gather all the information we've learned over the past, since 2014, 4 years of doing this process. Actually, 5 years, because it started before you even got here.
What's your review in our book?
It's freaking awesome. It's the best resource
My review is 6 stars out of 5.
I'm telling you, it's awesome. So we're going to give that for free.
It's the most amazing thing
please
we have created.
Keep tuning in if you want to get that thing for free. It's going to be on, we're going to release it on Amazon, and then it's just going to, like I said, it's going to evolve from there to where there's going to be an audio, a video, a full complete set. And you guys who are people who watch on a regular basis, you guys get a free crack at that. To get it, you guys are gonna see it first for free. So
yeah,
stay tuned.
The book is
it's not gonna be free forever. Just so you know,
the book is just for marketing into Amazon and Google, but we are developing the full course, which is the video tutorial and audio, like a podcast style.
Yeah,
sharing.
People been asking us about it, and it's coming out soon. We just got to make sure we do it right, so that's why we're taking our time with it. So, hey, Raw TV, Teresa Garcia, how you doing? Anybody new on Facebook? Let me see. Leroy C, how you doing? It's all right. We're about to end this thing real soon here, but we've had a pleasure talking to all you guys about this very sensitive topic. I really hate talking about it, to be honest with you. I want this topic to be gone, but unfortunately, it keeps coming up.
Teresa said, I will take my vacation maybe next year also by me. Oh, okay. We'll see you, sis, for the Philippines.
Right. And go ahead and like and subscribe this video.
We want to meet people who want to meet us in Cebu or Manila or whichever.
We'll see. We'll see. MD says, after I submitted my I-129F, I received my receipt number. How long will I have to wait to go to the next step? So the next step is going to be what we call an NOA2, and that's the approval from the USCIS. That takes upwards of 8 months. It takes a while. In the meantime, you can track the progress of it, but like I said, it's been taking a long time. And if you don't believe us, you can take Lena's World, his word for it, because Lena's World actually went through this recently, and his took 8 months. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lena's World. That's Lena's World right there above us. Him and his beautiful wife from the Dominican Republic. Yeah, so they took 8 months from the NOA 1 to the NOA 2, 8 months. But yours hopefully will take less time than that, but it's been taking quite a long time.
Good luck to you, MD. And
yeah,
also,
wow, I was right.
And also, what?
Oh, he says this. Wow, it's taking a long time.
Yeah. Also, most of our Patreons and supporters and hardcore fans are in the. Should I say that? In the book.
Well, yeah, you just gave it away.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just basically it's just an acknowledgement. We're not putting people's business out in the street. We're just saying, hey, thank you guys in the book.
Thank you guys.
So,
we appreciate
think,
all your support.
Yes, all your support, and you guys have been the inspiration for us to keep going and to do these weekly type of get-togethers. So, yeah, so really appreciate you, and that's one of the ways that we're gonna give back. Just one of the ways, and hopefully Yuri won't ruin everything else by giving out secrets that we want to give to you guys.
Okay, I'm not sorry.
Anyway, so that's it, guys. We're out of here. Please like and subscribe to this video. If you like this, please come back. Stay tuned. Come back next week. This time at 6 Mountain Standard Time, we're going to talk about K1 visa. I think we're going to talk about the what was it? The poverty guideline.
Yes,
we'll do a quick like a quick thing about the poverty guideline, and then we'll take it from there. And we're gonna also open it up to questions and stuff. Thank you guys for the likes on Facebook.
Thank you.
Appreciate
so
it. Big
much
thumbs up.
for
Big
the
thumbs
likes.
up. Appreciate you. And we are out of here.